Hello all, welcome to my channel. So today we are going to look at the waves of feminism. So before going to the waves of feminism, we can look what is feminism. And feminism is considered as a diverse collection of social theories, political movements, and moral philosophies. And these three are largely motivated by or concerned with the experience of women, especially in terms of their social, political, and economic situation. And feminism as a social movement largely focuses on limiting or eradicating gender inequality and promoting women's rights, interests, and issues in society. And the other name of feminism is Women's Liberation Movement. So this is all about the introduction of feminism. So next we can have a look at the waves of feminism. Waves refers to the periods or phases of feminism. So there are 4 phases of feminism: first wave, second wave, third wave, and the fourth wave. So now we can have a look at the first wave of feminism, and it started in 1848 and ended in 1920, and it took place in the late 19th and early 20th century. And the main aim of the first wave of feminism was to open up opportunities for women and focus on suffrage. Suffrage means voting rights. So the main aim of first wave of feminism was to open up many more opportunities for women and also to grant voting rights. And this first wave started at Seneca Falls Convention in 1848, in which 300 men and women rallied for the equality of women. And Elizabeth Cady Stanton, so she is a very important figure in the first wave of feminism, and she drafted Seneca Falls Declaration, and this declaration was signed by 68 women and 32 men, that is 100 out of 300 people who attended Seneca Falls Convention signed this declaration. And this declaration was considered as a new movement, that is the first wave feminism's ideology and political strategy. So Seneca Falls Declaration was considered as the ideology, first wave of feminism movement's ideology, and also as a political strategy. And after the Seneca Falls Declaration was signed, in America, women began to take part in public speaking, demonstrating, and so on, and all activities which were restricted by men for women before Seneca Falls Declaration. And after, when these women started to take part in public activities, people were of the opinion that these women were acting like unladylike, that is they are not behaving according to the norms and structures which are implemented by the society at that time. Also, during this first wave of feminism, there were discussions about voting rights and women's participation in politics. As I have already said, first wave of feminism gave importance to voting rights of women and also in women's participation in politics. And this wave of feminism, this first wave of feminism, was mainly made for middle class, Western, cisgender, and white women. So first wave feminism was mainly made for the Western country, women who are living in the Western countries. And the people who supported the first wave, or the leaders of the first wave of feminism, were abolitionists, and they focused, as I've already said, they are focused only on the white women's rights and not the women all over the world. They only focused on the white women, that is the women who are living in the Western countries. So that is all about the first wave of feminism. And now we can have a look at the second wave of feminism. It began in 1960s and it continued till 1990s. And this wave began during anti-war and civil rights movement, and at this time there was a collective self-consciousness among the minority groups all around the world. So during the second wave of feminism, this wave took place along with other movements during that time, such as anti-war and civil rights movement. And as these movements have took place, there was a collective solidarity and sisterhood feeling or self-conscious feeling among the minority groups all around the world. And the main dominant issues which second wave of feminism raised was sexuality and reproductive rights. And the people who supported the second wave focused on passing equal rights amendment to the constitution, which provided social equality. So in the second wave of feminism, the people who supported the second wave gave importance to social equality. So in order to provide social equality, they focused on passing the Equal Rights Amendment Act. And this phase began, the second wave of feminism began with protest against the Miss America pageant, which took place in Atlantic City in 1968 and 1969. They decided to protest against this American pageant, and as a result of that, they staged a counter pageant where they crowned a sheep as a Miss America and threw feminine artifacts like high heels, makeup, and false eyelashes into the dustbin. And this was how the second wave of feminism started. So this was the core idea of how the second wave of feminism started. That is, they decided to protest against American pageant. So as a result of that, they started a counter pageant where they crowned a sheep as a Miss America, and afterwards they decided to throw away female artifacts or feminine. At that time, this makeup and all considered as sexualized, so they decided to throw away these artifacts into the dustbin. And the second wave of feminism is theoretical. It is second wave feminism is purely theoretical, and it is based on both a fusion of neo-Marxism and psychoanalytical theory. Oh my god. Also, the second wavers, that is the people who support the second wave, talked about subjugation of women due to patriarchy, capitalism, normative sexuality, and women's role as wife and mother. So they all decided to talk about these all factors. And second wavers were of the opinion that sex and gender were different, and they considered sex as a biological one, while gender is considered as a social construct that varies from culture to culture. And as I've already said, first wave of feminism mainly dealt with the women living in the Western countries. But when we look into the second wave of feminism, this second wave of feminism has an impact on women in developing nations, and this helped in seeking sisterhood and solidarity. And these people who supported second wave spoke of women as social class, and then they coined phrases such as quote, the personal is political, unquote, and identity politics. And these two terms, when we look at these two phrases, we can understand that race, class, and gender oppression are all related to each other. So that's all about the second wave of feminism. So now we can look at the third wave of feminism, and this began in mid-90s and was formed by post-colonial and post-modern thinking. And this third wave is mainly formed by post-colonial, post-modern thinking. Second wave of feminism is theoretical, and it is based on a fusion of neo-Marxism and psychoanalytical theory. But third wave is formed on post-colonial, post-modern thinking. And the feminists during this period readopted lipstick and high heels, which were considered as male oppression during first and second waves of feminism. So, as I've already said, in the second wave of feminism, this people who have attempted a counter pageant for counter pageant has thrown away these feminine artifacts like makeup, lipstick, eyelashes, high heels, and so on. But when we look into the third wave of feminism, the people who supported third wave decided to re-adopt lipstick and high heels. And compared to the first wave and second wave wavers, these third wavers were strong and empowered, and these people developed a rhetoric of mimicry, and uh, they created a mimicry. Mimicry means they satirized where they allowed derogatory terms like slut and bitch in order to subvert sexist culture. They were of the opinion that slut and bitch and when we compare to the first wave and second wave, this third wave of feminism gained more prominence, or it became more famous, because it was at this time that internet gained this momentum, and due to the arrival of internet, it led to the formation of a form of feminism known as girly feminism. And girly feminism is a term which is closely related to lipstick feminism or cupcake feminism. And this girly feminism is a term which is coined by Amy Richards and Jennifer Baumgartner in their 2000 book Manifesto. So it was in the 2000 book Manifesto that this girly feminism term was coined, and the people who supported third waves refused to identify themselves as feminist, and this phase was more global and multicultural, and they were against the artificial category of identity, gender, and sexuality. So they were of the opinion that men and women are all same, and they were against this differentiation of category like identity, gender, and sexuality. And they celebrated ethnicity, class, sexual orientation, and recognized as dynamic, situational, and provisional. And this third wave was were against victimization. So this third wave was were against victimization, and they considered as feminine beauty for themselves and not for the others. So they decided to do makeup and all only for their own benefit, and not for others to just attract them, or to make others consider that they are just an object. They considered feminine beauty as for themselves and not for other people in the social patriarchic society. Next one is the fourth wave, and now we are all living in the fourth wave of feminism. And this fourth wave feminism started to emerge because young men and women began to realize that the third wave of feminism was overly optimistic. So they were of the opinion that third wave feminism was extremely optimistic, and compared to these three waves, in the fourth wave, many of the problems, many of the issues which were faced by women during the earliest phases of the women's movement began to receive national and international attention because of mainstream press and politicians. And fourth wave of feminism is considered as a reincarnation of second wave of feminism. So fourth wave contains the exact similar ideologies of second wave of feminism, Also they try to implement certain important perspectives which was introduced by the third wave of feminism. And this fourth wavers are of the opinion that women's suppression can be fully understood with the marginalization of other groups and genders. And they believed that feminism is part of larger consciousness of oppression along with racism, ageism, classism, ableism, and sexual orientation. And the main feature of this fourth wave of feminism is that there is a place in it for all. So that is their main motto. There is a place in it for all together. And so in the fourth wave of feminism, the definition of feminism began to change, and it was no longer refers to the struggles of women, and it is considered as a call for gender. And this fourth waivers gave importance to inclusion and accepted sexualized human bodies as non-threatening, and the role of internet can play in gender bending and leveling hierarchy. So this fourth wave is emerging because of internet, and so it is of the opinion that this role of internet can play a major role in promoting the fourth wave of feminism. So that's it. I hope you understood the full way, four waves of feminism. See you soon in the next video. Bye.